Hi guys, I'm sorry I did not have consistent content the past couple of weeks. Your girl's been going through it. I know when I came back to the channel I was like, my goal is to do one video a week, and that's still my goal. Healing is not a linear process. And when I have times when I have a lot more pain than usual, it can be challenging to do things like create content because I have to sit in a certain position and do certain things in order to even record something. Today is one of those days where I am in pain, but I made a promise and I'm trying to keep up with it. Part of the reason why this was delayed is not just due to pain, but also in the past couple of weeks, one of my cousins was diagnosed with lymphoma, so they came down and were spending time with us because, of course, they're scared. And it's not looking good, but we're gonna hope for the best and hope for some miracles. But on top of that, another weekend I got food poisoning. I swear, I wish I could make this shit up. So, here we are. We're doing our best. And I am going to do my absolute best to at least introduce you to some fake crystals on the market. Crystals. So, these are two very popular crystals, and I say two because technically I have 3 different crystals here, but one of them is 2 different colors. There are 3 colors available on the market, but I could not purchase and obtain the 3rd color in time to record, so I figured if you guys really want to look it up, you're getting a overview of the other 2 colors, and I will inform you what the 3rd color is, and you can either see it online or you can get the basic gist from the ones that I'm going to show you. Don't mind me, I'm just open. I literally bought these just for this video. Because, like so many people, when I first got into crystals and everything of that nature, I too was uninformed and did not know things. And once I start to get into something, I kind of feel like Ash Ketchum with Pokemon, and I gotta catch them all. But in this sense, that's not necessarily a good thing, because many websites are not going to tell you the truth about these stones. They're going to tell you that they are crystals. And they're not, because they are man-made. And I have another thing that I will also mention. I don't have a representation of it, but again, you can always look these up online. So first and foremost, this is opalite. This isn't the best representation of opalite, but it generally is presented like a clear quartz with an opal translucent sheen. And usually you can see multiple colors. This one is very poor quality, if you ask me, where you are not seeing the blues and the purples and the greens. But I'm here to break some news to you. Opalite is in no way, make, shape, or form related to any opal stone. Opalite is glass. This is glass. It has been manufactured. And it's sad because when you hold opalite, it feels like it could be a crystal, but it's not. There is such a thing as natural opalite, but it looks nothing like the opalite you can buy in most metaphysical stores or online. Nothing like it. And it is exceedingly rare. And it would be exceedingly expensive for me to try to make a video for you guys demonstrating that, especially given the sense that I, as of this morning, have had my AdSense account deactivated. AKA, I'm making no money. So again, if you are seeing ads on these videos, it's not my doing. It's YouTube, okay? So just, sorry if you hear any background noise. I live in a suburb, but a busier part of a suburb. So there is the first example, and I hope you can see it okay. This is opalite. And again, you can see other examples of this online. This isn't even the best representation, and I wish I could find, because what set me off on this path to informing you guys about fake crystals and everything is I actually bought a set of crystals for future purposes, and I did not know that inside it I would be given a piece of opalite crystal, which is not real. It's glass, okay? So there's one. The next one on the list that I am very sorry to report, because again, I saw it in metaphysical stores, and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty, oh, that's so cool, and da-da-da-da-da. This is goldstone, and I don't know if you can see the reddish-orange hue with the orange glitter. Yeah, all of the goldstones are manufactured. They are not a naturally occurring stone. This is, there we go. There's blue goldstone, and I have 2 pieces of that, just because that's the way I could get it here quicker. This isn't even a good one, because you can't really see the glitter in this one very well, but you can only see the glitter really well on one side here. So this is even poorly made goldstone. But the third color is green goldstone. These are all manufactured. They are not real crystals. They are a combination of different elements. You mix them all together, you throw it in a kiln, it turns it into a slab. They break up the slab. They may tumble it in a tumbler to wear down the raw edges of the crystal that is not a crystal, and polish it up. And they sell it as if this is a natural stone, and it's not. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that these things can't have metaphysical or healing properties? No, but that is subjective. I'm telling you that these things are not naturally occurring, and to proceed with caution. The third thing that I'm going to mention isn't so much a stone per se, but it is a series of crystals that you will often see in metaphysical stores. So frequently, if you go into a metaphysical store or you're shopping online, you will often stumble across the aura quartzes or the aura crystals. So you may see aqua aura quartz or aura quartz or anything, and they have this very beautiful sheen on them. That's not naturally occurring either. Now, in many cases, they can take those crystals that are real crystals. And what they do is they apply a metal to the crystal and they put it in a kiln, and then the kiln gives the sheen effect to the crystal that they're doing this to. Again, if it's a crystal. Yeah, I'm not sure that they can do that with glass, but don't swear me to it that they can't. They're getting really creative. So when you see these, they will say, oh, they're so special. They'll charge you for so much more money than basically what the crystal is worth, simply because they have applied some form of metal and fired them in a kiln, which is why you will most often not see this application process applied to a crystal like amethyst. Amethyst and citrine are the same crystal. The difference in the two is that, of course, amethyst is purple, citrine is yellow. But citrine is naturally formed from amethyst with time and heat. And unfortunately, I also don't have an example of this. A lot of the citrine you see in metaphysical stores and online, especially where the citrine has more of an orange hue, that's heat-treated amethyst. That is not real citrine. Natural citrine is actually really hard to find, and it can be very expensive. I do have pieces of natural citrine that I bought years ago. Years and years and years ago. You can find smaller pieces more readily available online, but especially the big pieces that I have that I am not going to show on camera, those are less often seen because, one, they are very expensive, and two, they are very rare to find. It just so happened in my instance, the metaphysical store I used to go to all the time, and there's nothing against them or any reason why I stopped going other than I was making myself very broke. Because I would walk in there, and because their quality of crystals were so good, I would frequently walk in and be like, I need this crystal, I need that crystal. And it seemed like as I was going in there, I was gravitating naturally. I was never led. No one ever pressured me to get these things. Towards bigger and bigger crystals that were more and more expensive. And I think one of the last crystal purchases I made were those, the natural citrine pair that I have. But it was just one of those funny things. It was a very small metaphysical store in my state. I was going through one area trying to find some things that I had in my intuitive sense to get. I rounded a corner, I looked up and I went, my jaw dropped, and I pointed up to the person behind the counter who I knew very well. I went, are those natural citrine? And she got this huge grin on her face and she started chuckling. She's like, you know how long those have been up there, and you were the first one to not only see them, but to identify them correctly the moment you laid eyes on them? She's like, yes, they're natural citrine. And she's like, I have them at a very, and she was not lying, it was a very low price by comparison to other natural citrine pieces you will find today on the market, because the two natural citrine that she found, and when I say they are big pieces, I mean they will not even fit in the frame of the camera. They had been found, that had been buried away in an attic in some sort of barrel with sand and stuff for like 80 plus years. And I bought the 2 of them. Funny thing is, I had bought one because I was like, man, this is really expensive. And but as I was driving home, when you're an intuitive person, you will start to connect with things that are not living, per se. And I could sense that this citrine really wanted its partner that was also in the barrel. So I drove back, I turned back around, I walked in. The person behind the counter saw me. They were like, did you forget something? And I went, yep. I picked up the citrine and I put it right in front of her. And she started laughing. She's like, you want to know something funny? I kept out the paper because I sensed that that one was going to go today. I did not expect it to be here, though. I'm like, I made it onto the highway and the other citrine was screaming out for this one. I had to come back. So that's how I ended up with that pair, but it is hard to find natural citrine. More often than not, any citrine you find on the market, especially when it has an orangey hue, is heat-treated amethyst. Now, I'm not saying that it's not citrine, because what they're basically doing is they're taking amethyst chunks, putting it in a kiln, and they are simulating the natural process of changing amethyst to citrine. But the problem is, it's still not the natural process of it, and you can still tell that they're not the natural citrine. Natural citrine has a very clear yellow hue, whereas heat-treated amethyst often has a more orangey hue to it. It can be a little harder to discern when it's a tumbled piece, a tumbled crystal like one of the, well, crystal like one of these. But when especially you see the piece with the points that are so often found in metaphysical stores, that's heat-treated amethyst. So this is my little video for the day on identifying fake or altered crystals that aren't necessarily things you can find naturally as they are. So I hope you find this somewhat informative and maybe a little bit helpful. And I will do my absolute best to be more proactive at posting at least once a week, both here and on Patreon. On Patreon, I've been slowly uploading the true crime from the archives and content I had to take down over here because of YouTube giving me a lot of hard times and demonetizing my channel in the first place. But I know a lot of people wanted to see those videos and may not have gotten the chance to, so they are slowly being migrated and uploaded one at a time to Patreon. I will be putting together some sort of plan to do new content over on Patreon as well, especially as my job slows down and my life calms down a little bit. Of course, a lot of things I have in the works. I don't see it calming down anytime soon, but I'm gonna at least try to get some things in the can so they're available for future. Okay? So I hope this finds you well. If you are interested in a reading from me or anything of that nature, my platform over on Etsy is Beauty Heathen Tarot. I believe that's the store name, but at the very least it's my old what is it? Beauty Heathen, the image that I used to use over here on YouTube before I changed it to Healing Phoenix. So yeah, my readings are over there. I am working on developing a website. I am also in process of becoming a Reiki master and also expanding on things so that I can bring new services to you guys, new content to you guys, and yeah, let's just say you will see a lot of things to come. All right? Take care, everyone. Bye for now.